Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right. Thank you, Mr. Producer. We are back, and this lovely young lady that is with me is the one and only Miss Sheri Atcheson. I was just privy to a little information which will never have anyone ever mispronounce Sheri's name again. It's right back at you, son. Welcome to the program. Welcome back.
Thank you, Casey. I'm so happy to be back.
That is great. Like, is it common for people to kind of put a little emphasis on a different part of your last name? But you just told me perfectly, and it can never be forgotten.
Yeah, for some reason between the A, T, and the CH, they trip up a little bit, you know. So I was just thinking this is a perfect way to remember it.
Awesome. So Sheri Atcheson, of course, Paramount Mindset. Tell me about Paramount Mindset. What is that, and a little bit about yourself for the audience in case they don't know. Maybe this is the first time hearing you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Paramount Mindset was developed by me to reach out to people to, help them change their mindset, so to speak, because we all kind of grow up with, limiting beliefs or beliefs that we got from when we were kids. And we can't figure out as adults why we might be so unhappy or why we just don't have motivation or something. So it's about just changing how you think and how you look at your life. And not only that, but taking action towards it as well. So I thought, what a perfect name, to encompass everything. So I just love working with people and having this program available.
Awesome. Now you have a bunch of programs. I think you got 3. Can you talk to me a little bit about those? Because you got a great topic today. But let's go through your programs. What you got to help people with.
Absolutely. So just to clarify, in each of my programs, they get a one-on-one coaching session with me for 30 minutes every single week. They get assignments to do because I like to hold my clients accountable to make sure they're taking action. And also I do group coaching with them so that they are included with other people like themselves, so that they don't feel that they're all alone. And it's really fun. It's exciting. But my first one is a 12-week journey to a better life, and that's just for especially goal-oriented people. My second one is a little bit more in depth, where I do offer a hypnotherapy session once a month. And that's more of a 6-week program, or a 6-month program, excuse me. And then my last one is a 12-month program. And that is for people who are really serious about manifesting things in their life. And that's a fabulous program where it's got just so many modules, and they can kind of work at their own pace, yet they still have to stay with me one-on-one every week, meeting with me as well. So
that's a huge part, is that I see a common thread here, is that you got to meet one-on-one, whether it be Zoom, right? You can take someone in international, right? As long as they speak English, because you can do it on Zoom. Am I correct? You can help anybody.
Yep. Yeah, correct. I've already worked with people all over the world, and I love people because they're so interesting where they come from, even if they're in a different state. So it's quite effective.
I bet. I know that you have a passion. This is your passion, to help people, get to where, I mean, self-esteem is one thing, and as tough as we want to be, and as complete as we say we want to be, everybody's got something. Those limited beliefs that you were talking about. Why is that?
Yeah, so this is what I want to ask everybody out there. Why do you wake up in the morning? I would just love to know, why do you wake up in the morning? Do you wake up in the morning because you have to, or do you wake up in the morning because you want to? And if you answered that you have to, that means that that's a good sign that you're lacking that self-esteem, ambition. You need a goal to go towards, and what's stopping you. So that's just something I want the listeners to think about.
It's a great question, because, to be honest, it's like, yeah, some days where maybe I'm excited, but the bottom line is, yeah, I gotta get up. I gotta make a living. I gotta, I got put gas in the car. I gotta take care of my cats. Everybody's got something, right? but
Yes.
but yeah, we're all lacking something, and we can all use some help.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing, it's like it's scary to make a change in your life, and you want somebody you can trust and that holds safe space for you. And that's like really key, where you're held in a safety place where everything's confidential. And I really am so committed to being there for people, and and being their advisor along the way, like a mentor. I mean, it's cool to have a mentor,
Yeah,
and it's like a life coach. It's like, hey, get me through this chapter of my life or whatever. So pretty
yeah.
interesting.
I think it's a great point. Combined with your passion, you also you you said before that um, you have to be accountable if you want to achieve a goal, and that's who you want to work with. You want somebody who is driven and wants to achieve a goal and is going to, use your expertise and your program to get there. No, oh, just that's one of your clients right now. Uh,
Oh,
but you,
sorry.
it's all right. It's all right. This is live. It happens.
do
But
you, do you know what that was? I
what?
set an alarm on my phone because it's a 11:11 over here in Montana
It's an
time.
angel number.
Yeah, so that's my angel number. I always see it. I set an alarm on my phone every day for 11:11, and then I just say, thank you. I'm grateful for this. And that's
That's a
my quick
great
little
idea.
reminder.
So when
So
you
I'm
thank the
sorry.
angels, you thank the
Yeah,
angels. That's pretty awesome.
yeah,
So you set the alarm for that.
yeah, yeah, which is really cool.
So why 11:11 and why not 3:33?
Exactly. My thought exactly. It's like, why am I always seeing 11:11? So it was, and I remember in 2011, it was November 11th, 2011. And right when I looked at the clock on my stove, it was just everything was 11:11, so I don't know why. It's, I guess, how they want to message me. I don't know.
Right. And we don't pretend to know everything, but there's a reason why that you have always seen that number, and it's not been 22222 like all the time.
Yeah.
That means something.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It is. I started
I
seeing
don't
that
know.
one. Sheri, I started seeing 11 or 111, and then 555, or and I always look them up, and I just thank the angels if whenever I see that.
Yeah, I do the same thing. And like I've been seeing 15:15 because I have my phone set on a 24-hour clock. And so 15:15 has been coming up. But if I see a pattern, I have to look it up right away. It's like, all right, what's the message? What are you telling me? So
And at any time when you saw like a 15:15 and you looked it up, did anything happen in your life, or maybe you got a new client that that the angels are telling you about them? Something, is there anything that came to you that just like, oh, that's why I saw that?
well, interesting you asked that, because when I was really diving deep down into creating one of my programs, and I just had this idea, and it was like, hey, Sheri, you got to go with your gut on this, because this is really, really what people are asking for and what they're striving with. And wham bam, 15:15 came up on my phone. I forget what the exact meaning is, so I'm not going to say because I might be wrong. But anyway, it just gave me, it reaffirmed that I was on the right track, basically. So
Yeah,
I was really happy.
yeah, I guarantee it has something to do with intuition. I don't know, like I don't know, but I'm just taking a guess here. Now, before we get into our great topic here, can you tell people how to get a hold of you and who is the perfect client? We talked a little bit about you. Goal oriented people are gonna jive best with you, but if you tell us where to get a hold of you and then the perfect client, please.
Oh, you bet. ParamountMindset.com is the best place to get your email out there so I can get in touch with you. And the people that I really want to work with are the ones that need to basically have a fire lit under them to get going on with their goals and to start making a change in their life so that they can become, instead of, why am I getting up to? I want to get up in the morning. I've got something to do, where they're sick and tired of the mundane of their life. However, I do like working with people that have this low self-esteem as well, and they just are kind of frozen and they don't know which direction to go. I love working with people like that too. So those really are my two ideal clients.
Okay. Oh, Sheri, how about people that, and I'm sure we've all been there at some point, the people that just something is missing. It's just that I can't tell you what it is, but something's missing. Do you ever get that?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And I love working with people. I do a lot of visualization exercises with people too, because, and this is why the manifestation program is kind of cool for people that love to manifest things. But also, I like to work with all my clients. It's like, where are you at? What's stopping you from getting to where you want to be? Where would you like to be? Let's really focus on you. And then when I get this information from my clients, I actually picture them in their successful selves, where they're still sitting in the reality, and I actually see their potential. So I always view my clients in their potential. And I don't let them off the hook. It's like, I know you've got this in you. So yeah, and that's how you get them to that goal, actually. It's like, hey, I believe in you. I see where you're going. Let's do it.
Is that kind of like the people that might struggle with self-esteem? Sometimes is that how we start? Just someone to believe in us?
Yeah, it really is. And not only that, but what's more important is teach them the tools on how to start believing in themselves and how to start loving themselves. That's where it really all begins. So I'm like their guide, but it's really important that they are equipped properly to walk through the forest with me, so that they know how to walk all by themselves. And that means this is how you're going to reestablish self-esteem, self-love, confidence, so that you can truly, truly transform.
Could that be a goal, Sheri?
That is
To, to,
absolutely a goal.
to, to,
Yeah.
to, to have better self-esteem? Could that be enough to work with you?
Oh, absolutely. And actually, that's one of the number one reasons why people do reach out to me, is self-esteem afflicts so many people out there, and they don't know where to go sometimes, or they'll listen to things online here or there, but just to actually talk to someone um, that can really get them where they need to be. That's the beauty of the whole entire process.
Like it, like it. Um, Now, what are some other issues that is there a lot of post um, COVID issues? Um, are you seeing a lot of similar issues when people come to you now? I understand that one you just talked about. I mean, who can't relate to that? But what are some
Yeah.
other issues?
Well, one thing that came up since COVID hit was isolation.
Oh,
So, but this is a double-sided coin, because, we've become isolated, when 2020 hit. And so that caused a lot of problems in relationships. Well, I mean, seriously, who would want to be stuck under the same roof for months with the same person? I don't know about you. I need my breathing space. I'm not going to lie. And it really brings out the nitty gritty in people. It really does. And your nerves get ground or whatever. And so we've had a lot of relationship issues occur because of that. We've had a lot of self-doubt occur because of that, because we've cut ourselves off from others. And we as people always need to feel connected. We always have to. So we stayed connected through the internet. So that's the other side of the coin, is where our connectivity is more through the internet now. But a lot of it is just, you don't get to love up on people, and that's what I like to do with my coaching. It's like, okay, I get to love up on people and make sure they feel good about themselves, and give them any kind of connectivity I can, and security in a relationship, professional relationship with my coaching. So that kind of soothes that wound a little bit.
well said. Thank you. Um, Now, we were talking about goals, uh, and is getting a better self-esteem and having goals, are they synonymous? Do they go together, or can you do one without the other?
You actually can do one without the other. However, people who have low self-esteem really have a hard time creating a goal for themselves.
Great point. Great point.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
it's like, it's like nothing excites them because they don't feel good enough about themselves. So it's really important. I start with everybody with self-esteem. Make sure it's in check.
Mhm.
However, there's people that want a better relationship and they just are having a hard time connecting with their partner that they have. Or there's people that want to leave their job but they don't know how and they don't know what they're going to do. So we have to see what they're all made up of and where their strong points are and so on and so forth. But if you start with the self-esteem and you take the steps to increase that self-esteem, then you can actually tap into what a person's true goals and desires are. And then you take it from there and make that happen. So that's where more of a 6-month program would come in really, really good for someone with low self-esteem.
Well said, and I definitely understand. And this doesn't happen overnight. I mean, we got to put the work in. Like, that's probably why you want to work with people that really want to change. Because if we do you do like uh, a first call to see if we're a fit? Do you do something like that? How does the process start, basically?
Yeah, absolutely. So I offer everybody a free 30-minute phone call with me,
Wow.
and this lets me get to know them. They get to know me. We get to look at what they would like to achieve and where they're at, and so on and so forth. Not everybody is a good fit to work with me. It depends on rapport. Of course, I love so many people. I have pretty good rapport with people, but what I'm saying is that, maybe I'm not the best fit for them, or maybe they're not the best client for me. But however, I'm very optimistic and I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I just spoke with a potential client and he had a lot of problems with the VA. He didn't trust the government. He didn't trust the police force, so on and so forth. Well, he was not a good fit for me because he was very, very paranoid in his views. And I'm sure he had reason to be, but I was just very honest with him and I said, I appreciate you, but I don't think I'm the best fit to work with you.
Right. Yeah, I don't
So
know anything about the situation, and it would just
yeah.
seem from an outsider. Maybe there's a little mental illness going in there, but I'm not saying that's the truth because I don't know. I'm not alleging that at all. But I guess you learn how to find out who's a good fit and who isn't, especially someone. I'm not saying this gentleman, but I'm sure you've had people that expect you to do the work where it's not going to work.
No, it's not going to work because they're not going to learn anything. This is all about a transformation, and a transformation means that you, the client, need to get it right in your mind. That's why I have the mindset approach. You need to do the work in order to reap the benefits. So it's like if you're going to the gym and you want to build up the muscles in your body, you just can't come to me and say, "Hey, give me muscles."
Right.
It's not going to work. So,
Got you.
but I can say, "Hey, okay, we're going to build up the muscles in your self-esteem and your mind or whatever, but you've got to do the repetitions, you've got to do the work." And then voila, you've got what you want.
All right. Well, great example. It's you can definitely picture that. Now, I want to know, do you work, you talked about relationships a little bit. Um, First of all, will you work with all age groups? Will you work with, maybe an 11th grader that's has a lot of stress looking for a college, and is or do you work with like you said, people looking for another job? But is it all age groups? Basically, is my long-winded question to you.
It's all good. So, no, that's a good question. A lot of times when you work with someone under the age of 18, now you're looking at family. You've got a lot of like moms and dads involved or whatever. However, I'm so pulled towards someone who would want to reach out to me that is under the age of 18, that would be in that scenario that you said, and just hear them out and see what is blocking their choices or whatever. and I would be more than happy to help them with that, as far as getting clear on exactly what it is they wanted to do. Other than that, I work with anybody.
Okay. All right. Cool. Um, I know you have a bunch of questions over there, Mr. Producer. Do we have time to do any of those? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's hear from your fans here. Let's see what they're saying.
Yay. I love you, fans.
We have Ron in Atlanta, and Ron asks, can we damage our self-esteem by having our expectations set too high?
Good question.
Oh, that is a great question. Not necessarily. I don't think there is anything wrong with setting your expectations too high. I would be curious to know what too high means to an individual, or to you, Ron. But I don't think I think you could damage your self-esteem depending on what you say to yourself. Like if you had a really high expectation and then you went and beat yourself up like there's no way I could achieve this, and you start talking negative to yourself, then absolutely you would damage your self-esteem. So it's a matter of not doing that negative self-talk, and then you can achieve anything you want to.
Awesome. And how would that gentleman get a hold of you one more time, please?
Ron can get a hold of me at paramountmindset.com.
Okay. Awesome. Before we go to the next question, I want to know: will you work with, like you mentioned, relationships? Will you talk to both parties, or is that something that you only deal with one? How does that work?
No, I absolutely would do whatever it took. If you are someone who like suffered some type of childhood trauma, for instance, and you kind of grown into this adult and you find you're having relationship problems, a lot of that is because you've built a wall around yourself. So not only are you not letting people in, but you're not even letting yourself out to truly be loved by someone else. And a lot of times we set labels and expectations on the other person, and we're not really bringing that wall down and appreciating who that person is. Even from the first time we met them, we forget about everything that attracted us to somebody, and we start being cynical about everything. So it's really important to bring the two together and have an understanding. So it's worth it. It's
Okay.
definitely worth it.
Okay. Cool. Do we have time for another one? Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to the audience. What we got?
Randy in Seattle asks, can our self-respect help our ability to trust other people?
Oh my gosh. Randy, okay, and I love Seattle, by the way. My brother lives over there. So, Randy, what a great question. Self-respect is everything, everything, because really self-respect comes down to trusting yourself. That's who you need to trust first before you trust any other people. And then when you've established that self-respect and then you encounter other people, you definitely will be able to be positive towards people without letting anyone in to damage you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it really the key is self-respect, and then it's amazing how you will treat others, and then in turn how they treat you back, how they respond. You must conduct yourself with respect in order for others to respect you. It all begins with you. Great
Yeah.
question, Randy.
Yeah, really good question, and that was a perfect way to hit it home. Am I doing? I don't. Oh, I have to wrap up. I can't do another one. All right, all right. Hey, I've been spending some time with Sheri, and everyone can pronounce the last name. It's Atcheson, and well, she goes, yes. Sheri, let me give you the last word and anything you want to leave us with. And then tell us once again how to get a hold of you. Great job today. Thanks for everyone who wrote in. I'm sorry I didn't get to you guys, but great questions. Sheri, you got the floor, my friend.
All right. So the thing I would like to say out to all the listeners there is, there is no obligation to talk to me for 30 minutes. I would love to hear your story. I would love to point you in the right direction. And there's no guarantee we would ever be a good fit to work with, but if there was, oh my gosh, the transformation that could happen in your life. So please contact me at paramountmindset.com. I will reach out to you, and I just say take a chance with your life, and take a chance to see what it would be like to make a change.
Awesome. Sheri, thank you so much. I can't wait to hear what you have to say next. Great show. And guys, we'll be right back.
Thanks, Casey.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.